Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have a fantastic intro in mind, a way of opening up tonight's episode like I did last time, so we'll just go with hello, and hello to the Ed, and hello to the Andy. We've got a full council. How cool is that?
No. Full council.
Are we well?
Have we got anyone in chat yet?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Joe's first in there. Look at that. Look at that. And we've got a Josh, we've got a Phil, we've got a Martin, and I say good evening and it's carrying on, not the same hello to each other now. A good evening to each and every one of them. It is evening, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite bright still, mind. It's quite bright now.
It is, isn't it? We've got grey clouds here. What have you got?
Yeah, grey, broken, scattered cloud, absolutely no water whatsoever, and everything's dying, basically, so it's great.
Oh, that's rubbish.
We've got a bit of blue sky up here.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, he can just look through his hatch.
Okay. He's got a big old hatch.
It's my escape hatch.
Escape hatch.
Your escape hatch.
In case of emergency, break glass.
Indeed.
Emergencies, eh? So, what have we all been up to since we last spoke?
I've been running errands, me.
Yeah. Save that for later.
I know, it's going to be subtle like.
And I do thank you very much for the errands you've run for me. Evening, Mario. How are you? Martin's got a cloud phenomenon this morning, apparently.
Yeah, the clouds were doing something. They were quite high, and they had sort of that wave ripple effect going on.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
And next week on Cosmic Weather Forecasting.
Yeah, there is a name to that. I have no idea what it is.
Nimbus clouds.
Yes, but there's also.
I can remember as a kid, I knew all the different cloud types. I've no clue now. No clue.
Very rare.
Hello, Jumpy. How are you? And Ben loves the designs on the shirts. I know, weird. Which shirts? Our shirts. All of them. I've worn this one many times. Oh, that's cool. I like that one, Andy. Straight to video.
That's from the place in Alfreton.
Yeah. We've got Dave. Dave's here. Hello, Dave.
You did it to me.
You've got a lot to answer for, Dave. You really have. You've got a lot to answer for. Everyone's saying hello to each other. That's nice. What is the most funny thing you've done in a shop?
No.
Most funny thing I've done in a shop?
Most funny thing. I once took somebody out of a shop and took them to a completely different shop that I didn't work at the time in order for them to buy something from that shop instead.
Okay. I dropped, not too long ago actually, in HMV, I dropped a figure of Chainsaw Man. Dropped it on the floor and his arm fell off.
Oh.
And I was like, picked it up and I was like,
Industrial accident.
It stays in on its own, put it back on the shelf, and then quickly moved away. I felt guilty, and then I remembered the amount of times that I found broken toys in my shop. So I thought, you know what? If I can accept it, HMV can certainly afford it.
That's karma. Yeah. Fair dues.
Have you done anything funny in a shop, Ed?
Yeah, I'm pleading the fifth on this one.
Oh, really? Now, I did know somebody. He had particularly deadly
Trumps?
Gas expulsions. Yes, trumps. And he would look around to see where everybody else in the shop was, try his best to find the most perfect place to let them go so that it would affect everyone at the same time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Biological warfare. Beautiful.
Yeah. Horrible. And I've been a victim of one of those gas expulsions as well. They truly were awful.
Well, we started off classy. It's
yeah. It can only go up from here, can't it?
It's a solid start.
So, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to go with? We'll go with the toy news. Let's see whether or not we can actually get them up on the screen this week because I had problems last time, didn't I? Right, let's share screen window. That one, share, and will it have it? Oh, look at that! It's worked. Let's see whether or not I can increase it. Oh, look at that! Yeah, there we are. Power Rangers, ladies and gentlemen.
that is a thing of beauty.
It is. It's not too bad, is it? Let me. I'm not really prepared for this. I'm not doing well. So yeah, it's the Red Rangers Megazord. There, it's the Tyrannosaurus Zord, and if you buy the full set, you can combine them. What? And I said this when they announced them. So we found these are the packaging shots that we've finally got now. And the thing I like about these is the fact that they still look like toys.
Yeah.
You know, because so many times recently they've released something that I've always thought should be a toy line, and it's a collector's toy, and it doesn't look like you should really play with it. Whereas this, it looks just like the original, to be fair, less the chrome. That's the only thing I'd say it could do with is the chrome. And we've got the Mastodon there, which would have had lovely chrome tusks. This one doesn't.
I remember these, yeah.
Triceratops, saber-toothed tiger, and
I feel like I need to go Power Rangers.
You can hear it, can't you? There's something about Power. I don't like Power Rangers, but there's something about it when you see them, you can hear it.
Why?
Yeah, definitely.
Why have they got a saber-toothed tiger and a mastodon mixing it up with dinosaurs? They're sort of like completely different.
Look, they're just old dead things that are cool. Okay, just roll with it, Ed. Just roll.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Had to be you, didn't it? It had to be you.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
I thought you were going to go. They're not from the same era of
That's what he means.
History. Yeah.
Oh, that looks nothing like a pterodactyl.
No, pterodactyls will rarely get powered, Ed. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I don't think any of them look particularly like they should.
Not until the late Cretaceous, anyway.
What's the chat saying about these then? What's diecast? Well, not these.
Not those.
How did you survive the explosion? You have to run. You have to run, mate. Head as Star Wars. He certainly does. He certainly does, yes. Retro Chef, hello there. You enjoy your Arsenal game. You can come back and watch us afterwards.
Is he trying to insinuate there that his Arsenal's on fire?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Would appear so.
That is completely trash. Joe doesn't like these Megazords.
Wow. Joey's, of course, completely wrong. But
yeah, I mean, it does say on the box 4+, and Joe's like 30-something.
I must admit, they're not. Zords aren't my thing.
Lee likes a Zord. Lee does like a Zord. He's not here, though, is he? He's not here.
I think I have a Zord in the house.
I won't be buying them again.
Mine.
Have you already bought them, Joe? Or are you referring to when they came out originally? And Mario thinks those figures look good. They cancelled the Lightning Collection for this. No, they didn't cancel the Lightning Collection for this, Joe. They cancelled the Lightning Collection because no one was buying it. Possibly because they were too expensive toys for kids to be playing with. So another company's now doing toys that kids can play with. I think it's fantastic. Hello. Right, okay, so what else have we got to show?
Ooh.
Yes, we got Lego Batmobile.
I never did like that particular Batmobile, though.
That's fair. It's grown on me over the years. I never liked it as a kid, but it has grown on me. Not as a kid, but when it came out.
What is that signal about in the back, though?
I'm more impressed that they've been able to make this version of it out of Lego.
They've had some practice at Batmobiles of Lego.
I think this, with the ribs on the side of it and everything, I think it's genius. Whether you like it or not, there's some good engineering gone in there.
Oh yeah, there'll be some technical pieces at the bottom of that. Almost.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It was a definite design shift in the Batmobile from the Tim Burton one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It did take some getting used to.
Yeah, it went disco bat.
Well, yeah, it's like they stuck neon lights on it and an extra fin on the back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I never liked was the two little headlights. They always look stuck on.
I mean, I won't criticise Joel Schumacher because he has done some films that I do like, but I think he had some questionable choices that he took, with his two Batman films.
Yeah.
Like the gratuitous bottom shots every time they're getting into the bat suits.
Yeah.
And look, that's bat butts. It's
Joel Schumacher's proclivities, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The bat thong.
Oh, I can make it bigger. Look at that. I can make it bigger. We're talking about Joel Schumacher's proclivities, and then I go and say I can make it bigger. Hot Toys. They're giving us a Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, neither nor feels so good.
Yeah. Of all the figures that Hot Toys could possibly give us, they're giving us a Jar Jar Binks.
I'm almost surprised it doesn't say Jar Jar Binks brackets sorry.
I've got to say though, it's quite a good likeness.
Well, it is, but he was CGI, wasn't he? So they can do it spot on, can't they? Effectively.
And people are going to sort of like custom make a black cloak for it, and
yes, it's already
3D print a red lightsaber for it.
Now featuring Fortnite. Yes.
I think there's quite a few Hot Toys to look at, to be fair. But there's also an alien from Romulus.
Yes.
I'm torn on this one.
Is it an actual complete figure, or is it just a half a figure that's hanging from the hole in the ceiling?
It's half a figure hanging from a hole in the ceiling.
Oh.
You do get the hole as well. You don't get the ceiling, but you get the hole to stick on.
Yeah. Right. So you're paying a premium price for half a figure with a hole.
It's a premium price indeed. These figures are normally 45 to 50 quid. This is 70.
Right. Who's making this one?
Compared to the hole.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, this is supposedly the big chap from the original film.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's very silly. It's very silly.
So it should have a harpoon sticking through it, shouldn't it?
Well, because they were able to find that in space.
Yeah, well, I actually didn't mind the film, Romulus.
I haven't watched it yet, but I knew that was an element of it, so that's not spoilers for me.
I did enjoy Romulus, but I think the thing I struggled with were the accents of all of the young cast. They screamed of today, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Alien 9210.
Yeah. So that's what you actually get.
Right.
I think that NECA just stumbled across a couple of palletfuls of broken alien figures and thought, what do I do with these?
It looks like a parachute alien, and his parachute's broken.
His parachute's knackered.
Yeah.
What's the chat saying?
He's been through that Resident Evil laser web thing.
Talks about is for kids Godzilla. What?
I wasn't over enthused about the film. It kind of other alien films had done it all before and better.
Okay, yeah, I can't disagree with that. I enjoyed the film overall. I think considering that we're in a drought of quality films, and that was a nice little rainstorm.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think it looked nice.
Batman.
There was some dubious special effects in it here and there, but it was like it just. I don't know. It just felt a bit unnecessary. But
Bottom Shots was the best choice.
That's space fans.
As Vader would say, no. Hello, Patrick. How are you, sir? Are you well? Patrick. Dave Nichols got his nickname from. Okay.
Well,
Jar Jar Binks is one of the better character designs in Star Wars. Do you deliberately think of the most unpopular things to say, Dave?
Plus, he's doing that. You see that Radio 1 show. Tell us your
Reanimator, hello.
opinion.
Goodness me. Shut up, the lot of you. Would everybody like to see Gareth's training montage?
I think it means montage.
Nobody wants to see me training. I don't even train. Oh, thank you, Chef. Thank you.
I don't know. I've seen you on a treadmill at the moment. Could be quite humorous.
So long as it's not going, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Does Batman have prep time? Batman always has prep time, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Batman never gets anything done because of the prep time that he does.
Now, this is another hot toy I was not expecting to see announced.
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually quite like this one.
Yeah.
Now, does it transform?
Well,
no, because it's not a transformer. Well, wait, they can
rolls up.
Roll, can't they?
It rolls
up. Fair dues. Yeah.
I was so surprised to see this one. For me, this was really left field. Really left field.
I must admit, I'm surprised that Hot Toys give it the ability to roll up.
Yes, I really am. Although if you're going to make it, what's the point in doing it if you don't?
Yeah.
When Obi-Wan first announced that, did he call it a destroyer?
Droidica.
He said droidica, did he?
He said droidica, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Destroyers, they're also known as destroyer droids.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think probably like anything, and even in real world, people give them
nicknames,
other names to what they are.
Yeah. It's like the battle droids getting called clankers.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm having to exercise an awful lot of restraint on this one. Because I do love this video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always liked Republic Commando, and even the leader on his own's no good. You need the whole team of 4, and it's Hot Toys, so it's what, 250, 300 quid? No. I ain't got a grand to just throw at these.
I've always been curious how the sort of like the solve the issue of sort of like light glare in your eyes.
It was for the video game.
It shines out, not in.
There you go.
That's not how light works.
Or maybe it's not a light and it's actually a reflective surface.
It does in a galaxy far, far away.
Maybe it does.
But yeah, and of course they are doing all 4 of them.
Of course they are.
Force Awakens.
No, move on.
Very, very much. Do you not think it's a good likeness, at least?
It's a good likeness.
I don't care. It could be Poe Dameron himself stood there. I don't
care. They showed this at Toy Fair about 9 years ago.
Right.
And it never got released.
No, but somehow it came back.
Yeah, somehow it returned. Well, it never got released because they didn't sell well. So he was one of the last ones that they'd announced, and they had tons of Rays, tons of Finns, tons of Kylo Ren sitting in warehouses.
I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
Yeah. So they were like, what do? We haven't actually manufactured this one yet. We've just, done prototypes. Let's not bother. But they've obviously finally got round to finishing it off. I dare say there's like 6 people out there that have been clamouring for this to be released so they can finish off their Force Awakens thing. I mean, it's a good figure. I'll give them that. I think it's a good-looking figure. And it's a damn good likeness.
And does it come with the beach ball?
I was going to say...
It does not. You have to buy the beach ball separately. Indiana Jones.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Look at that.
That is good.
It is. It is very good. Very good. It's just that it's old Indiana Jones and nobody wants it. That's the theme of tonight's toy news. Look at all these toys that you want and that you don't want.
They're the completest in you.
Look at that.
God, he is old. Wow.
Look at that.
That's a great sculpt.
Isn't it?
Wow.
I mean, credit where it's due. That's...
It's like each one includes a little bit of Harrison Ford's soul.
Try and catch up on the chat just so I don't fall too far behind. Ben likes that. I believe he's referring to Boss. Oh no, it might be the Droidica. This is a surprise. Yeah. I just think most Star Wars characters make boring toys, says Dave. Jar Jar is interesting at least, not saying he's a great character. Fair enough. There's an edit of The Phantom Menace where they have him speaking in an alien language and it's subtitled, and that is far more in keeping with the original trilogy. And it's probably the way that Lucas should have gone with it, to be fair. Hello, TJ! How are you doing?
TJ.
I gotta meet all you guys are funniest than Celebrity Big Brother.
Or possibly I've got to admit all you guys are funnier.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
Does it take a lot to be funnier than Celebrity Big Brother? I don't know.
Martin's going to pass on The Force Awakens. It was supposed to have a sequel, blame George Lucas. Great likeness. I might take a Sean toy. Which Sean? Sean Bean? Possibly. Super 7 showed some American Werewolf in London reaction card backs at Toy Fair 3 years ago, and we're still waiting. Yeah. Anyone for a pink Ecto one?
No.
You know, I saw this and I was like, what? Okay. Assuming it was some kind of statement. And Dave's going to like this one. It's by Jada Toys. And it's part of their pink slips range. Which don't always have to be pink. So I don't know why they've done it in pink, but knowing it's not a statement of some kind, I actually quite like it.
Well, the thing is, at first I thought it might have been that colour because, you know, like from Ghostbusters 2, but it's not. It's not the Ghostbusters 2 Ecto 1.
Ecto 1A, yes.
Yeah. So it couldn't have been that. And quite frankly, I got 2 paragraphs into reading the article and I got bored, so I just clicked away. I thought, I don't even care, so I can't even be bothered reading it. So I have no idea why it's pink. I don't care that it's pink.
No, I agree with Dave on this. I actually do quite like it. There's something...
It looks almost like a Joker mobile.
Yeah, I can see that.
It looks something.
There's something I quite like about it. I can't put my finger on it. I do like it. Which is interesting because they have done this in red already, which was the Optimus Prime version.
Oh, right.
And I didn't like that at all. I actually despised that. But this, like I say, I thought it was some kind of statement at first, and I wouldn't have been on board if it had been.
So, I mean, obviously, I know what a pink slip is, but what's the relevance of it to having a pink Ecto 1?
I've no idea. I
mean, obviously, a pink slip is what in America they use when they sell a car. You know, to prove ownership of a car. Isn't it?
Sean Connery, she means. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So it's like
pink with yellow spots.
What's the point of having a toy line that's
JT? Hello.
Pink slip toy line. What's the point of that? Is there a point to it?
Money, possibly.
Yeah, that's probably it.
So over here, would our equivalent be something like, Matchbox V5 range?
Yeah, it would be a sort of pale green.
Yeah. So like the get your Matchbox Austin Healey Road Tax Edition.
But I have to say, I almost screenshot all of the comments underneath this because they were damned entertaining.
Yeah.
Most of them were the reaction that Ed had straight away.
What? Just no.
Yeah, that was one of them.
No.
It's like right, we've run out of paint. What's left?
We've got loads of pink left.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in all honesty and being genuine here, when I first saw it, I thought, are they supposed to be doing something about the River of Slime from Ghostbusters 2? That was my first reaction.
God bless you, Ed. You were trying to keep it on topic. I know.
No, that's the thing though. When I first saw it, when it first came up in my news feed, I thought, why is it slime coloured? You know, from Ghostbusters 2. But then it was like, well, no, it can't be because it's not. That's the original Ecto 1. It's not the one from Ghostbusters 2. So then I started reading the article, but like I say, I got about 2 paragraphs in. I got bored, and I thought, I don't care. so I'd never found out why it was pink, and like I say, I don't care that it's pink, and yeah, it's just Ecto 1's white. Just leave it alone.
So, here's some of the comments. I think it should be Dayglow green. Someone says. Someone, I don't know if Ed was reading this one when he replied earlier. No, just no. I'm good. That's ugly as hell. Stop taking old franchises and destroying them with stupid shit like this. I'm pretty sure no one ever asked for a pink, gay-ass-looking Ecto 1.
That's a bit harsh. That's sort of like, I think maybe that person needs to go and speak to somebody.
Someone's asking if it could be something to do with the slime. This shit needs to stop. You can almost hear the anger as they're typing.
Stop talking about it.
It's drove into a truck full of Pepto-Bismol.
Bear in mind, I'm only reading what other people have typed here. These are not my points of view. Who are you going to call? Shirt lifters. And there's a lot of profanities used.
Fair.
Someone does say, I'm usually first to say that they are overdoing the Ghostbusters merch, but I actually like this.
Brave.
Yeah. To say that on the internet. Is this the Barbie Dream Ectomobile?
It is quite interesting, though, because had in some alternate universe, reality, multiverse somewhere, there will be 3 of us talking about a white Ecto 1 and how people are going mad because it's white.
To the morons bitching, it's part of a series called Pink Slips by JoshyyBoyyToys. It's not like they are changing the colour of the car in the movies or shows. My God, grow up, it's a colour.
It's a toy. I mean, that's what I say.
And I'm not going to read anymore.
Yeah, it's a toy car. It's a toy car that is a god awful colour, and
I believe
if it sells, good luck to them.
That's the last of the toy news that I've got to show you. So we'll get rid of that now. Oh God, no, I don't want that.
No.
Goodness me, let's have a shuffle. There we are. We're back to how we started, and I could take that Ecto 1 off my. Can I? Oh
yes, it's still hanging around.
There we go. It's done now. Cancel. And I can get that off my screen now as well. I'm going to end up with one, aren't I? So what's everyone thinking to all those then? They're just generic die-cast cars. Some are pink. That's the pink slip. V5 twin. Only 5 more colours to complete a snooker table. I like that. Yep. I like that. Martin agrees with Ed. Maybe it's shy. Buy it or don't. People take things way too serious.
Buy it.
True.
Maybe they'll release a brown coloured version soon. You can have the pink and brown together.
What is it? Something like that?
I think more. You think probably more like that.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So, moving on from the pink Ecto 1 and its potential brown cousin.
Please do.
Pepto-Bismol busters.
Ed, this was your idea, so would you like to introduce it?
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, yes, Ed, you did.
You know you did.
When making that all-important purchase for the collection, does size play a factor in your choice, or does anything go? Yeah, this was while I was browsing my feed on social media the other day. I came across this, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. But this lunatic had decided to make a 6-foot Unicron.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
you should have got those pictures.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. God bless him and all power to him. But he's obviously got far too much money. He's got far too much time on his hands. And
Well, to be fair, that property isn't all that expensive.
the thing is, though, it was also as well in light of the that huge Metroplex that came out recently as well. But not just that; it's also things like
and that Galactus he's got in his shop.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could rope. I wasn't going to rope Galactus into that, but I was meaning more huge stuff. I mean, that's big, but it's not big. Yeah, I was thinking more stuff like that, like the Unicron, the Metroplex, but then also when you like the vehicles for 6-scale stuff, so like 6-scale DeLorean, the Batwing, and the Batmobile, and it's like, when
it's big,
it was like when something becomes so big like that, yes, I accept it could probably still come under the umbrella banner of being a collectible, but it kind of stops being a toy because they're just far too big to play with.
Unless you can wear them.
Well, no, that Unicron isn't to wear. That Unicron is, he's got ball joints. He's obviously made it to add. But
it's 6 foot. I just thought maybe he was maybe he could fit in it.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
So that was my train of thought on that. It's just like, well, when you buy a collectible or when you buy a toy, does a point come where it's just too damn big? It's just like, it loses its kind of, it's like
you can't play with it, can you?
No, it's like the HasLab Unicron. Yeah, that to me, that's just far too big and daft. Yeah, because you can't do anything with it. And
so it becomes a display piece at that point, doesn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah, it becomes a static display piece. Which, I'll be honest with you, I don't know many people that have one, but the people I do, well, I don't know them, but I know of people that do have them. And I think a good majority of them have still just got them in the box. They've not got them on display. Yeah? No. Because obviously it's too big to display. And
or if they have, it's in a museum-type pose.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what's the point of buying something, especially that expensive and that big, if you can't do anything with it, if you can't appreciate it?
2 words. Bragging rights.
Yeah, there is that, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, there is bragging rights, yeah.
I think, probably.
Because, I mean, what was it? Was it about £600? Was it £600-700 when it came out?
I want to say 6 or 7. I want to say 7.
Yeah, it was a hefty price tag,
But if you don't have any space to do anything with it, why would you commit in the first place?
Yeah,
you have to keep it in the box. What's the bloody point?
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, I think it's the bragging rights thing. Like, say, look, I've got this kind of thing.
I'm curious though, did you actually buy the Hot Toys DeLorean? I like the idea of a 6-scale garage to park it in, but did you actually get the DeLorean? I'm interested. Awesome piece. Awesome piece.
Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate how good they look.
They're huge.
Yeah, but it's just like, where would you keep a 6-scale DeLorean? Yeah, I mean, if you're in America and you've got the big houses in America and things like that, then I can see it. You've got a big display room.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're in good old Blighty, and it's like a mansion. It's.
We just don't have houses big enough, do we? Really?
No, we don't.
No, you need a really big old house without outbuildings or something to have a separate thing.
So the thing is, what's the point of making these things so big when you're going to have such a narrow market for them?
But maybe it is aimed at the American market because they know that some Americans have A, the space, and B, enough spare cash to buy such things, because they must do some sort of market research first to know that they're going to be able to at least break even on it logically.
Well, with like the HasLabs, they have you pay for it before they start making it, don't they? And they have to reach a certain goal.
Zero risk. Yes. Clever.
Which is why you're a toy company.
A glass coffee table. Yeah, but how many coffee tables do people have in their living room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how big is your
We
coffee
have a stack of them.
Yeah.
He does actually own the 6-scale DeLorean. Is it still in the box? Also, yes. Is your box your coffee table? Better off smaller size, then you can collect more. True, and it gives you a lot more options in displaying them, doesn't it? Yeah. So
you see, back in the day, when I bought a pocket money toy, I put it in my pocket because then I could take it to school quietly, or stuff it in my pencil case and have it available to me during the day, even when I wasn't supposed to have it available to me during the day. So
yeah, I mean, it's not. Again, you have to remember, it's not something that's it's not a new thing, because you go back to the 80s and you had the USS Flag for GI Joe, which were like, I think it was about 2 meters long, was it?
I'm in a position now where I do have some hot toys, but not a single one of them is out on display because I don't have the room for them.
Yeah,
and they're only 12 inches tall. Most of the stuff that I've bought in recent months and years, I do have out on display, but there's a couple of things that come to mind, and all of the things I don't have on display, it is because they're just too big to find anywhere for. And if I was to get a case for them, then that case would probably cost as much as what the item cost.
Yeah,
and that's not very sensible, is it? No.
I mean, the biggest ones that I've got the Studio Cell Unicron. I've got the.
Isn't that comparable in size to the HasLab one?
No, I think it's a little bit smaller.
Is it? Okay.
I think it's a little bit smaller, but it's more accurate to the movie. The HasLab Unicron is more of a chug Unicron.
Right. Okay.
Is the HasLab Unicron? So yeah, so I've got the Studio Cell Unicron. I've got the Pangu Toys Commander, which is the oversized Optimus Prime, and then I've got the 2 Wei Zhang. I always forget the names. It's Omega Supreme and the Center Guardian robot.
Oh yeah.
I've got those 2, which I need to get them out because they've been packed away in storage for about 2 or 3 years. They haven't seen the light of day. I ought to get them out. So those all those 3 are probably about 2.5 foot, 2.5 foot tall. But even for me, really they're too big. Because I just don't have the space here to display them. Which is a shame because they are all nice pieces.
Strangely enough, I do have my Pango Optimus Prime out on display.
Yeah.
It is.
I think the biggest. Ooh, hello.
It's just up there.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excuse the mould on the roof. We've been trying to get that sorted for a while now.
Yeah. Don't turn the black light on.
Reaches for the remote to turn them on. Right. Joe is asking the all-important questions. If I was in Power Rangers, who would my team be? And it's got to be more than just the Cosmic Council. Who would my Power Rangers team be? There's 5 of them, isn't there?
Probably.
Red, blue, pink, yellow, black.
But also green, isn't there?
He was a later addition, wasn't he? And then he also turned white. So I'll go with the original 5. Ed wouldn't be a Power Ranger. He'd be Zordon.
No, I just wouldn't be in it at all.
Andy would be Alpha 5. I would be dead before being a Power Ranger. I don't know. Who would be my Power Rangers? You could be my Rita Repulsa.
I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't be in Power Rangers. I'd be in the original. I'd be a Gotcha Man.
You'd be a Gotcha Man, would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. You do ask some silly questions, Joe. That was massive for G.I. Joe, was the USS Flag, I'm guessing.
It was. That was
only in the US. Well, it is the US S Flag.
Yeah. I don't ever recall that being available over here, the Flag.
Could you imagine the shipping?
Oh, yes, very good. I think
just send it out on its own.
I think the biggest one they did over here. I think I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I am wrong. But
nice.
I think they did do the Defiant over here.
Cool.
You know, which was the space shuttle thing.
I seem to remember hearing someone talking about how they saw it in a toy shop.
Right.
That might have been on Toy Me Toy You, actually.
Right.
But I remember someone talking about that. Yeah.
I don't ever recall seeing one, but I do. I'm pretty sure I remember reading something that they were saying that the Defiant was available over here. But
okay.
I think, and that was quite big. You know, that was quite big for the time. But yeah, I mean,
yes.
Boba's made a good point there. You know, back in the day, Action Man accessories on vehicles were big.
I mean, even things like the AT-AT and stuff, they were pretty big when you stop and think about it. So at least they were to a child, I suppose. Maybe
fast. Toys like Dave wants to be pink. You want to be the Pink Ranger? You know, I would probably pay to see you in the Pink Ranger outfit. That's the one with the little skirt.
Yeah, it's not pink, it's salmon. It's salmon.
It's pink.
A pair of strategically placed coconuts hard.
Action Man Command Post was a big thing, just a pillar box with two. Right, okay, yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
So Tracy Anders was pretty chunky. Tracy Anders were and they were solid as well.
I would say that they were never meant for display.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I would say like a display set, because that's what it is. It were a display. Sorry, a play set.
Well played, JT. Well played. Who would I cast in Zelda? Oh my God, Joe! Really?
Right, mute him for a bit. Random. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for random. I love random, but you know.
I'd do it for free. What, the Pink Ranger? You order the costume and send me some selfies.
So a nice Zelda sword in Meadowhall, actually.
You saw what, sorry?
A Zelda sword in Meadowhall. Link's sword, I assume.
I'm still waiting on it arriving. I ordered it.
Was it like sort of this big?
Yeah, full size. I ordered it about 8 or 9 months ago.
Yeah. But the Rebel Troop transport was big. But I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, with Star Wars toys,
hold your figures though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more of a figure storage thing, wasn't it? The Millennium Falcon were big for a kid. That put the leg was a handle, so you could hold it to fly it round.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then in 2008, they thought, you know what? Let's make a bigger one.
Yeah.
Let's make a bigger Lego one as well, because the Lego one's huge, isn't it?
So yeah, have we resolved anything with that? No. We've killed 20 minutes.
Stretched out. Are we talking about something we shouldn't be talking about, Joe?
I think he's implying that it would be difficult for him to squeeze himself into a girl costume.
Have you seen the size of some girls nowadays?
Gareth.
That's terrible, I know, but Lizzo exists. Right, okay. Is it time for an intermission, do you think?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it's time for an intermission. The Cosmic Council will be back in about a minute's time.
I was totally replicating well.
Yeah, we've been working on that for far too long. Andy sent me his segment of that, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Very prompt.
Yeah.
Strange. Chat's gone strangely quiet.
I don't blame them. I made most Star Wars vehicles bigger, except the Snowspeeder made it smaller than the vintage.
Mm.
Did they? I've seen a bigger version. Mm. Yep, the power in outfit. Phil's really confused.
Didn't they do a Snowspeeder for the Black Series line?
They did. They have done a Snowspeeder for the Black Series line. That's big enough on its own. To be honest, my scale tricks took most of the dining room floor. Yes. Yeah.
Railway sets. Yeah. Yep. In the garage. Yep.
Sorry for you, Dave. You can get extensions now. Okay.
Hair extensions.
Gareth, bust a move. I'm so glad that you said that correctly. We rock! Yay!
It's just like, whatever.
Again. There we go. Oh my God. What are you talking about, Joe? You are going to get muted at this rate. Okay.
Who was it in the first place that asked for that?
Pardon?
Who was it in the first place that asked for that?
Me.
No, I mean, was it? I thought, wasn't it someone in the chat who said that you should dance to the theme tune?
No, it was a case of me and Andy tended to do that, and we still do.
Right.
During every intro and every outro, because it's pretty cool music, to be honest with you. It's got a good beat.
Right.
And I just said one day, I said, we should film ourselves and then use that as an intro one time.
Yeah.
Right, next subject. I won't name it and I won't name the person, but during a live stream the other day, someone posed the question of how do you guys afford to spend so much on toys? And I'll be honest, my response was that yes, I do think I spend far too much on toys, but I do not spend anywhere near as much as my own mother does on cigarettes every week. Yeah?
Dobbed his own money. Wow.
Yeah. So
was this a question that someone asked on the council?
No, it wasn't on the council. It was on someone else's live stream.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
How can you afford to spend so much? And to be honest with you, those guys I don't think spend a great deal at all.
No.
But like I said, there's people out there that spend an awful lot more on an awful lot of things that probably aren't of such value. Certainly, they won't get anything back for it at the end if they decide to part with their ashes or their toilet things. If they're spending so much on drink, what are you supposed to do with that? You're not going to bottle it up when you expel it, are you? But even with that in mind, how much is too much, do you think?
Well, it's like anything else. I think you just have to know your limits, really, and you have to, if you suddenly find yourself swimming in debt, then you probably have to throttle back a bit. Yeah. It's simple as that, isn't it? It's like anything else in life.
Yeah, there we go. That's a really good point. Yeah, it's a good answer.
I mean, for my part, certainly because I was late collecting, and because I've entered a time of life where it's kind of just me, and I'm not a big fashionista or anything like that. I don't particularly have other things that I expend my spare dosh on. So, I'm either putting it into, equipment to do bits and bobs of videoing with, or I'm getting stuff. But you've got to bear in mind, the stuff that I get in particular is older stuff. It's not boxed. It's not mint. So I'm not paying shed loads for every single item that I pick up. So if it looks like I'm buying a lot, well, maybe I am, but I'm getting job lots and all sorts of stuff. So I'm not one to buy something on impulse unless I think it's a very, very good, sensible thing to do, because I do like to research stuff, probably too much. Then I miss stuff, which is irritating, but at least I know I haven't been ripped off. Because, if there's definitely stuff on eBay where you easily just go, oh, shiny, and grab it. And the next second, eBay would give you one for like a third of the price because you've just been nobbled by the, like the sponsored ad or something. And it's just like, you just got to be a little bit wary on eBay, unfortunately. So, yeah.
What do you think, Ed?
Ed's got a spreadsheet.
I've got a spreadsheet for that.
And it tells him exactly how much he's allowed to spend every day or week or month.
For me personally, I would say it's none of your goddamn business. What I spend, my money.
I like that answer. That answer.
Yep.
But so more as a general thing, I think, when the question poses, when is it? So just put the question back up again, because I just want to make sure I get the wording right on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So how much is too much? I think don't get me wrong, I know people use this as a way to buy things, but I think if you're buying stuff on a credit card and thinking, I'll sort it out later, I think that's too much. I think if you're buying something and you're thinking, if there's a bit of hesitancy there, or you're thinking, right, what can I shuffle around to make this work, then you're spending too much. Yeah. So I think it's just a case of, I think there's probably more pressure on a certain sect of collectors, mainly within YouTube, where they'll be buying stuff just so they've got something to review. Yeah. Now,
unless they're lucky enough to get stuff sent for free, Josh.
Yeah, if they get stuff sent for free.
Lucky Josh.
Only jealous, don't worry. I'm only jealous.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really. My own personal opinion on this is that, like I've just said, what I spend is none of your business, and what other people spend is none of my business. So it's like, if someone else gets themselves into debt just so they can keep up with buying something new and shiny, then that's their own fault, and they'll have to end up paying for that in whatever way, shape or form. But, if I was to be asked about what advice to give, I would just say, well, look, just ask yourself whether or not you can afford this and whether or not you actually need it. Because if you think that you need it, then I don't think you should be buying it, because we don't need any of it. It's not essential, So it's a hobby. It's something fun to do. So if you've got a bit of spare disposable cash, then
cheers, Phil.
Pick something up. Pick something up that you're going to enjoy. But don't be picking something up thinking that, I can buy this and I can keep it for a bit and I can also sell it on, or it might be worth something a bit later on, because I think those kind of days have gone now, because too many people are doing it. But yeah, end of the day, it's your money. Spend it on what the hell you like.
You said that about not using credit cards. Though. Everything I buy is on the credit card. But I do it because I get points when I spend on the card, which I then get free stuff for at a later date.
Yeah. No, I
don't buy anything unless I have the money to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's part of my budget.
People spending on credit cards and sort of like just shoving the statement in a drawer and forgetting about it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I know that you do need a credit card to buy stuff online and things like that. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Whoa! What do you mean we don't need it? Of course we need it.
No, not at all. Not at all. My life wouldn't be any different with or without my collection.
He'd just have an empty loft.
Yeah, I was going to say, he'd have much more space in his attic, though.
It would be full of all the stuff that's downstairs. That's what it would be.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The phrase "must have" is a bit of a bugbear. Yeah, it's we don't have to have any of this stuff, do we? It is all it is a luxury. I was discussing that with someone actually earlier today.
Yeah, and I don't want to make any assumptions as well, but I would surmise as well that a lot of the stuff we collect, or the type of people that we collectors are, I think there's some psychology behind that as well. I think there's obviously something, I'm not trying to get all, psychoanalyzing here, but, maybe there's an element missing from childhood or the past. And then when we get old enough, we then sort of like try to replicate that, or we try to supplant it or replace it and have something that they felt was missing from there. So I think there's an element of that. But like I say, when it comes to cost wise, yeah.
But I quite agree with you. That's why I try to have as much sets as possible now, because I never had any when I was younger.
So do you say sets?
Sex.
Yes, you did.
I fail miserably, but I try.
I should certainly.
It's called hoarding. No, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. A very different thing. I ought to know. My mother's a hoarder.
Yeah, right. Just picking up on what Dave said there. When he said about this must-have. When he said about must-have, that's one thing with me as well.
Yeah.
Who decides what's a must-have item?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who decides? It's like I'll give an example. I'll give an example. Who was it that decided that Studio Series Dinobots were a must-have set, and then everyone went mental over them? Yeah, it's like because me and Gareth were talking about this the other day. There's no way in hell that they are worth the prices that they're now commanding. No way at all. Yeah, but who?
I've got a set to sell. By the way, I've got a full set to sell.
No, but
they are not worth what I want for them, but I want that for them.
Yeah,
because other people are paying it because they're stupid.
Well, but that's actually a fascinating aspect of the collector's industry in general. Is that how do you set a price on something that's no longer made? Because it's all down to static supply, and then demand is therefore the only factor that impacts the price.
I would normally agree with you when it's in regards to something that's, like you just said, no longer made. So it's been years since it's been out, maybe 10, 15 years since it's been available. They have dried up everywhere and they're difficult to find. Yeah. But when it's literally just gone off the shelves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was released last year. And it was sold out by the end of last year. And come February, it's now going for 2 or 3 times its price. It's like, really?
But that's
really.
But see, that I think is, I would term that induced scarcity.
Yeah,
because that's people buying them up to give the impression that the supply is lower than it actually is, in order that they can then resell it at inflated prices. So it's a circle, isn't it?
But that's the thing, though. But then, you see, that's more fool then on the collectors. Because really, when collectors know that these people are out there, yeah, and what collectors ought to do is they ought to, as a collective, but a collective, they ought to just turn around and say, no, we're not going to buy this until, and the people that are hoarding these will then have to lower the prices to get the money back on them. Yeah?
Yeah.
But they won't, because collectors, don't get me wrong, I won't tar them all with the same brush, but there are a good chunk of collectors out there that want it no matter what, and they will pay, so it'll be like, oh, well, you can have this, but it's going to cost you 300 quid. I don't care. I want it. I've got to have it. And it's like, well,
you'll always get something like that,
then, aren't you?
Because the one time when I probably wouldn't do my normal cold calculating research bit, when I see something that I've literally never ever seen before, and I think, what if I never see one again? And then that thought process might drive me to do something I wouldn't normally do. But equally, I do have my own internal limits to basically say, no, it's just too much.
I get that, but I tend to work off the thing now where there's lots of stuff I see and I think I like that. Should I? Shouldn't I? And I think but now my ethos on it all now is I'll get it when I'm meant to get it. It'll come to me when it's ready to come to me. Yeah. And and it's odd really, because
he says as he's running out of years.
But what I mean is that it's like there are pieces.
How fast can you run, Gareth? How fast can you run?
There are pieces that are in my collection that have come to me as a result of that way of thinking. Because it's like, I've seen something I've wanted, but I've thought, no, the time's not right yet. I'll have it when I'm meant to have it. And 2-3 years down the line, it's come to me and it's now in my collection. So it's like, and it's more liberating, and I think you appreciate it more that way as well.
Yeah,
JT, you should get into our chat more often. You really should.
Because it's more satisfying when you do then eventually get your mitts on it.
Yeah. I mean, a good example is, I've had it for donkey's years now, but is Bumble Jumper. When I got into collecting, back in the late 90s, Bumble Jumper was a piece that I wanted, and it just never happened. And I was just like, well, it'll happen when it's meant to happen. And then it did. One came along. It was the right one. It was the right time, and it was like, right, yeah, I've got that now. So I think, I think this mad rush that collectors have to get something because they feel they have to have it. And I'll tell you something else which I think contributes to this as well is it's the pre-order.
Yeah.
I think the pre-order has artificially created this sort of like this must, like Dave mentioned, this must-have mindset.
But is it, how much of it is must-have and how much of it is eBay sellers hoovering stuff up so no one else actually gets a chance to get it and then they resell it higher, Yeah,
there is that. This whole thing about, like a 3-figure limit or, whatever it is. It's like, well, if you're going to have a figure that's highly desirable, let's say, for example, I'll use one that I had a bit of a personal experience with. G.I. Joe Classified, when they released Eel. Yeah. Straight away, it was going to be a figure that people want because Eel is a cool looking figure. It's a cool looking character and figure. Yeah. And I thought, yeah, everyone's going to want that. I literally went on the hour it released to do a pre-order. Bang, gone. Just absolutely gone. But what annoyed me about the situation is, like I say, I think it was something like a 3 or 4 limit per customer kind of thing that was on it. But damn well that there's people out there that's probably got 4 or 5 Hasbro Pulse accounts and they're buying 3 or 4 on each account under different emails. But then what makes it even more annoying is these, I won't call them what I want to call them, so I will restrain myself, but these kind of people, then when the figure comes out, are all over social media bragging, look at my shelf where I've got 50 eels on my shelf because I'm a troop builder. No, you're a unker. Because it's... And I think stuff like that, for collectors, those kind of collectors should be ostracised, yeah? I mean, I'm not criticising troop builders, yeah? I get the troop building mentality. I do get it, but I think what you should do is with figures like that, let everybody wet the beak first. Let everyone get one, yeah? And then when they've got one, then go in for the troop building, yeah? But it's like, it's just this selfish, narrow-minded mentality where it's like, no, I've got to have them, because for a damn fact they're going to be sat at home, they're going to have neck beard, they're going to have Pop-Tarts crumbled all down the shirt, sausage finger, like, I've got to have all them figures.
No, but the thing is, I think there's an even darker side to it than that, though.
Sorry, I'm being evil.
I'm enjoying this.
Army builders aside, I think there are people who are more sophisticated than that. So I think there are people who've got like bot farms who will just be hammering the pre-orders, as you say, the instant they go open. Multiple accounts, and they get in a bloody warehouse full of this stuff, like they did for when like the new PlayStations come out. You can't find them, not because lots and lots of people are buying them, but because a few people are buying all of them to then profit off the back of abnormal profits because they've limited supply by doing that. So they've artificially gamed.
It's happening right now with the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it happened during the thing that was a few years ago with the PlayStation 5. PS5s just went completely and utterly scarce.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, they weren't scarce. It was because there were all these sort of like tools that had bought multiples of them and then were trying to flog them on eBay at 2-3 times the price that what they were.
Yeah, they were just hoovering them.
Fortunately, Sony were like, no, we're not having that. and they've flooded the market with stock. So basically, it meant that these tools that had all these PlayStations hopefully lost out.
Well, I mean,
you say that, but it were over a year before my mate was finally able to get a PS5.
But that's the thing. But as Ed was saying, that eventually that demand surge will die off.
Yeah.
Then they're left with their stock. Then they've got to shift it come what may, because then they'll be out of pocket.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that's an interesting function of more people buying stuff online. Because if there aren't as many conventional retailers who actually hold large stock, then of course stock is there waiting for direct buyers to buy it direct from the initial distributors. And that link in the chain's gone to sort of even that sort of abuse out. It just doesn't exist anymore. So it is a function of the way that things work these days, that you can game it like that at all, almost, because there was a day when there wouldn't have been that ability to buy direct from the manufacturer in the consumer's hands, or the quasi-consumer hands, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. I mean, I was actually thinking about things like was it Fan Home who do the Star Trek ships on as a sort of subscription thing. Because I was thinking to myself, I wonder how many people are going to take out multiple subscriptions just to get the ships to then resell the ships to collectors who haven't taken those subscriptions out but might want a particular ship. And I thought, but then I thought, but equally, if you do want to just take a subscription out, you then know that you are guaranteed to get an example of each of the ships. And if you happen to get spares or one you're not interested in, you can just sell that on, but you're not gaming it as such. But it's a nice way to be able to guarantee you're actually going to get one when you want one. So maybe that's maybe like a subscription service model could actually work for things like models and toys and stuff as well going forward. I don't know.
Maybe they could just release them to shops and put them on shelves and people buy them if they want to buy them.
But are there enough shops to support that? That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, how many? I don't know. I wonder how many toy retailers actually are still out there. I mean, obviously, at scale, Toys R Us failed.
You see, the thing is that this was something I thought about the other day, and it was like, about like like memories of toy shops, yeah. And it's like, well, obviously, present company accepted. You don't actually see many actual proper toy shops, yeah,
because everyone's buying it online through these pre-orders.
Yeah, there's that, but also as well, and I got to think. I mean, it's like it was interesting actually, because I was probably about half an hour debating with myself, the pros and cons of toy shops and what you define as a toy shop kind of thing. And as I was thinking about it, I thought, well, I don't know if I would even have classed somewhere like Toys R Us as a toy shop. Because it's like...
Explain yourself, sir.
Pardon?
Explain yourself. Well, the clues in the title.
Yes,
they are us.
Yes, they sold toys.
Yes, they did.
But were they actually a toy shop in the strictest sense? It was like, because it was like it was selling en masse, wasn't it?
Yeah, toys en masse.
Yeah, toys en masse, but it's not what I call the definition of a toy shop. Yeah, your toy shop is like your small retailer. Yeah, that's your toy shop on your high street. That's
I thought a toy shop was a shop that sold toys. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
It's what, sorry?
I said I just thought a toy shop was a shop that sold toys.
No, you could define it like that, but it's like it's not. It doesn't feel like Toys R Us. Never felt like, well, for me personally, it never felt like going to a toy shop.
It was quite impersonal. It was stack 'em high, selling cheap. It also had board games and bikes and baby things and games and stuff, basically. There was a lot of stuff in any given Toys R Us.
I was in game yesterday. And they sell more than just toys, Joe. In fact, I would still say they sell more games than anything else.
I know what he means, though. Game in my time, game never sold anything but games.
Yeah.
But it's called diversification, don't you know?
Toys R Us wasn't a toy shop. He's gone nuts.
No, but it kind of made sense in my own head that, like I said, that it for me personally, it never felt like going to a toy shop. Yeah, going to a Toy Master, that felt like going to a toy shop. Yeah, but going to somewhere like Smith's or like say Toys R Us, I think because of the sheer size of them, and because like you've just said, the stack it high kind of mentality, it was more like a supermarket, rather than
I think they just followed the Jolly Giant.
Maybe.
I think Toys R Us was a toys warehouse, not a toy shop.
Phil beat you to it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great minds, Phil. Great minds. What can I say? Yes, it's toy warehouse.
And I think that I think maybe that's that's something lacking because, like, back in the day, whenever you went to a toy shop, they always had the toys you wanted. But also, as well, the other thing as well, I think that's different now from back then is because so many new lines are released so quickly, the turnover of toys that are on the shelf is such a short window now. Like I say, back in the day, like say take a Transformers, for example. You had Optimus Prime on the shelf from September 84 through August 86. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same Optimus Prime.
Yep.
And now it will be in that same length of time, year and a half, 2.5 years.
27 different Optimus
Primes. Yeah, you'd have something ridiculous.
No, sorry, I'm thinking of Bumblebee. There'd be 19 different Optimus Primes and 27 different Bumblebees.
Yes, you'd have different variations of the kind. So, so the shelf life of them is such shorter now.
And the thing is, who? Let's assume for a moment that we actually had children who were actually still into toys. Who the heck's buying all these variants? Because as a parent, you have a very limited. You have a very limited spare cash pool for buying niceties like toys. What parent has actually got the cash to buy 27 different Bumblebees every freaking month? It's not going to happen, is it? So why are they bothering? Because somebody presumably somewhere is buying 27 Bumblebees every month.
Yeah. And it's people like you lot and people in the chat.
It's your fault, chat. It's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's our fault. Possibly.
Bunch of morons. Everyone.
Achoo. A cuckoo.
Yeah. So anyway, what was the topic again?
Well, it was how much. It's just too much. I think we covered that though.
I think we've resolved that situation. I think we found out that people spend too much on useless tat that doesn't really do anything for them and will just all be sold by the family members when they're dead.
Yeah. Which means it's time for show us your bits. Get your bits out. Come on, get your bits out. Who's going first?
Woolworths. Sorry, JT just mentioned Woolworths. Woolworths.
Yeah, Woolworths is great for toys.
Yeah, Woolworths was awesome. But it wasn't a toy shop. But it had a damn good toy department.
Yes.
I always thought Smith's was horribly disappointing every time I went in for toys, but...
No, Smith's were good for...
WH Smith's was, yeah.
During the 80s, Smith's was good for a certain home micro.
yeah, micros, had that. Yeah.
And other micros were available as well. But yeah. But no, that was the thing, yeah. Woolworths, you'd go for toys and pick and mix and records. WH Smith's, you'd go for records, but you'd realise they were cheaper in Woolworths, so you go back to Woolworths.
Smith's had comics.
Yeah. WH Smith's had comics and stationery and those smelly rubbers. Like,
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be putting them back on the shelf when they've been used.
Smut, just pure smut.
So, speaking of smut, let's have a look at your bits. Who's going first? What you got to show us?
Shall I go first?
You go first.
Andy wants to go first. Go on.
All right. So I actually didn't get that many things from myself this week, actually.
Okay.
And indeed, I have been a traitor. But I was a traitor because I was running an errand for someone, which we'll come to. So I went into the Forbidden Planet. Indeed.
Did you just swear?
Sorry. But I did buy presents, though. I did buy presents.
Have you felt the presence?
Yes, I have felt the presence. So, for Garrett, we have...
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Soft toy Godzilla. It's quite. I thought it was all right.
Are you a legend? Thank you.
You can sit on your counter and glare at people in this.
Lushy Godzilla. Does it growl when you squeeze him? I'm talking about the
I
Godzilla.
do, yes.
No.
I'm sure Gareth growls when you squeeze him.
Oh, I do.
Or he may chuckle like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Depends on where you squeeze me.
And for Ed,
what?
Who I think is who I believe favours the original Stormtroopers. I've got your random mug with Stormtroopers on it.
Why, thank you, sir. You shouldn't have. But
I know I shouldn't have, and I knew you probably would say that I shouldn't have, but I did anyway. So.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You see,
now then,
this is the whole thing. I had this at Easter. Yeah. The whole thing with Easter. Yeah. You buy people Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And then those people then buy you an Easter egg back. Just save the hassle. Just buy yourself an Easter egg, and then just cut the whole thing out. It's just like it's just pointless.
That does actually make sense, does that?
Yeah.
Right. So this other thing I'm going to talk about at some detail and in length because I brought the whole street cred of this shop down simply by stepping over the threshold, and I was the squarest entity in this shop by a long stretch as soon as I entered it because I got this. Now, who can tell me what this is?
This is this year's Record Store Day Doctor Who title. It's the 10th planet, which is the a 4-episode story, which is the final story of the first Doctor. So this is his regeneration story, and you can only get it at record stores, and they tend to sell out fairly quickly and go for silly prices online. And I didn't want to pay silly prices, but I have a friend who has a record store over in Leeds, and I have another friend who works in Leeds. So I asked one friend if he'd mind to picking it up for me. Then I asked the other friend if he would reserve me one after Record Store Day, because he can't reserve things on Record Store Day because it's against the policies of Record Store Day. And he said if there's any left at the end of Record Store Day, he would save one for me. And he did. So thank you very much, Scott, over at Crash Records, which I have already mentioned in one of my videos. You're a legend. Thank you very much. And I look forward to receiving it.
So is it...
I did that without moving my lips at all. Did you notice?
Is it an audio book on record?
It's not an audio book. It is the sound effects. It's the audio dialogue, the music. It's everything except the visual,
right,
of the episode, because the soundtrack still exists, but the video doesn't. Well, it does actually for 3 of the episodes, but
right,
there we go.
It looks like he's got Orax strapped to his chest.
Yeah, that's the original Cyberman. It's fantastic artwork, is that? I do like that artwork. And the discs, the vinyl records look gorgeous as well. It's like a black and white splatter.
I have to admit to a certain amount of nervousness carrying that all the way back through Leeds and onto a train and back to mine. It's like, oh my God, can't harm it in any way.
I mean, it's been about 3 weeks since Record Store Day.
Yeah, so I did go into Forbidden Planet, and I assisted someone at Forbidden Planet because I heard them mention sort of. They said I thought they'd have more graphic novels, and I said you have to go downstairs, and they went, "Oh, there's a downstairs." So I saved
Pops and Gundam.
Yeah, so I saved their shopping trip if nothing else. So they had a 3 for 2 on, so I got a random Firefly graphic novel, which is apparently 3 of God knows how many, which I don't otherwise have. So. Not sure whether not to read that or wait until I've perhaps got a few more. So Gareth might know if he's got any of those in stock. I picked up this, which is a very famous Batman graphic novel, which for some reason my copy of it has vanished. I used to have a paperback copy of it, and I'm pretty sure it's disappeared somehow. So I picked up a slightly hardbacky version of it instead, just so it's back in my collection. That's bit of a dilemma because it's sealed as well.
That's a large print of it.
It is quite a large print, isn't it? Yeah, and it's bigger than my
deluxe edition.
Right? Is it like? Is it like big fat writing for the slower kids in the class?
I have no idea, Ed.
It looks. No, I'm just saying it looks because the original release wasn't as big as that, was it?
No. It seems to be blown up in some way, shape, or form. I'm not quite sure why, but yes.
And it's been repainted as well. It's been recoloured.
I also got this because I've seen them on occasion before now.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I've ever seen Volume 1 because it was on offer. You know, it was kind of made sense to get 3 at about the same price. So I used to love Nemesis the Warlock in 2000 AD. And this is one of the original sort of black and white kind of ink line drawing kind of, editions of him. And it's just rather lovely. So I thought it would be rude not to. And it's your fault because you made me go near Forbidden Planet.
I didn't make you go in.
No, right, you didn't, technically speaking. But, I did anyway. So I was having my half-day holiday, so I thought, right, I'm going to go and have my half-day holiday mooching around shops and these. I didn't get the chance to. Didn't get to HMV, though. Bit of a shame.
Oh, it's a shame.
I suddenly realised that vinyl records and graphic novels actually make for quite a heavy shopping bag. So I thought, I can go home now because I'm overloaded. So.
What's a shame, though, is that you didn't save the record until last.
Oh, well.
Do you know why?
Why?
It would have made for a very cool segue. Because I also have...
Planning.
I also got one. Which is another First Doctor story, William Hartnell story, The Crusade. I think all but one episode of this is missing, and this is another 4-parter. It's The Crusade you're probably thinking of. And it's now frowned upon. In fact, this probably wouldn't be frowned upon because this doesn't have the visuals, but the original is frowned upon for having actors with blackface in it because, it was the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't quite so sensitive back then, and they had lives. Moving on.
I can't say about Crash Records as well. It has some really interesting soundtracks in there.
Yeah.
From my sort of perspective, I thought I understand that reference because it was like anime stuff, and it was like, if I could remember what the soundtrack was like, I'd be sorely tempted. But then I reminded myself I didn't actually have a vinyl record player. So
okay, JT's been interested in reading Judge Dredd.
Oh,
there's a certain cosmic toy shop that may have plenty of 2000 AD stuff. So
that's a hell of a rabbit hole, my friend.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a rabbit hole.
Come and see me, mate. Come and see me. It's not worth shipping them. It cost a fortune.
not the versions you have. They're chunkies.
Ed, do you have anything to show us?
Yeah, I do. But you've probably already, if you follow me on
I've seen it.
Socials, you've probably already seen it anyway.
Let's have a look at a nice big black one.
So,
Fnar.
We'll start with this little chap. Mod Fans Ruler. ALO1. What was it? ALO1 what? I forgot. H. That's it, yeah. It's basically it's Nemesis version of Ruler or Roller, if you will. I did some photos and I did a video that I thought was awful. I removed it, but then I put it back because I couldn't be bothered recording it again. So it's back up again. But yeah, he came in. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before. I think it was now. But yeah, it's a fantastic little figure. Bags of fun, loads of articulation, die-cast plastic abound, and it's cool colour. So yeah, that one came in. Staying with the black motif, there we go. Magic Square, Light of Peace, MSO2, Dark Lord, which obviously we all know as Nemesis Optimus Prime, or Scourge is sometimes called. And again, this is a great figure. Love it to bits. And it's just a shame. Like I mentioned, I did a quick video review of this as well. And it's just a shame that there's no diecast content in it. Because if there were diecast content in this, it'd just finish it off lovely. But it doesn't matter. It's still a fantastic figure. I still love it to bits. And yeah, so he's So that came in.
Good evening. And then, loving the new profile image.
The what? Sorry,
he's got a new profile picture.
Is that the
cat? No, is that the cat from the? Is it called Cat or something from the Disney film?
Oh, I thought it might have been the Star Trek Puddy Cat from that time traveling episode. I could be wrong.
Cat's Paw. Is it the episode called Cat's Paw? Where they go, it's like a medieval house, and then he's got the bad guy's got a little diecast model of the Enterprise on a keychain, and he holds it over a candle.
Ah, okay.
And then all the people on the Enterprise like going, "Oh, we're really hot. We're really hot." Anyway, no. So, and then the last pickup is it's books, it's annuals, and it's Swap Shop.
Hey, yeah.
Huge Swap Shop fan as a kid. Never had the annuals as a kid because I was too busy with the Beano. So I saw these online on a certain auction site, and they were a reasonable price, and they're all in very good condition. No marks on them, no writing in them or anything like that.
Very shiny.
And I snapped them up. There we go. Posh Paws. It's Posh Paws. Where is he? He's there. Posh Paws.
What did you swap them for?
Pardon? I swapped them for a few of the Queen's English pounds. There you go. And then Book 4, which was the last one. Book 4 was the last one. So yeah, those were my pickups since we were last on the council.
Cool
indeed. Has that Luke not come in recently? That Black Series one beside you?
Luke? Which Luke?
Luke. The Luke Stormtrooper.
No, that's not a Luke Stormtrooper. That is... Do you want to explore... Do you put me on big again?
You are.
Am I? Oh, right. That is...
Oh, yeah. So it is.
It's a George Lucas Stormtrooper.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the recent one.
Yeah.
So I had a George Lucas Stormtrooper. I also had... Is it the Death Squad Commander?
Right, yes.
You know, from the Death Star. And basically, I just swapped the heads.
Okay.
So basically, we've got a Stormtrooper that, you know, just a generic... I call him Gary. This is Gary, by the way. Say hello, Gary. Hello. Gary means well, but he's not the brightest, you know, he's not the brightest knife in the drawer, if you know what I mean.
Is he the one that banged his head on the door every time?
Yes, yeah. That's Gary. So, I just swapped the head. So, and in doing so, I actually found out that the George Lucas head looks better on that Death Squad Commander because it makes, because it looks like some old English guy, and they got old English guys to play the bad guys in the original Star Wars. So it just looks so much better. And this looks better because it's like, you know, it's some young hair slick back guy, you know, that's been swayed by the Empire. He's joined up, you know, he's got his nice shiny armor, and he's just like, what do I do now? And
you'll headbutt that door for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was posted on Gorham for a while, but you know, that didn't end well.
I haven't seen today's episodes.
So you know something, I'm going to really surprise you now. Yeah,
you enjoyed it.
It took until episode 8 for it to actually get somewhere. So episode 8 and 9, I did actually quite enjoy.
Okay, cool.
I
will be honest. I watched the second batch of 3. Yeah. Gap wants to know what Swap Shop is and who that guy with all the blonde hair is.
Oh God, yes, cultural references.
That is Noel Edmonds.
Legend, Noel Edmonds.
The man, the legend.
The myth.
What is Noel Edmonds doing these days?
I don't know, but he's someone who's worked for the BBC all those years, and I hope and pray that no stories come out about him because I love the man.
Yeah.
It's like, please don't destroy my childhood with that one.
Yeah, he lives in New Zealand now.
Oh, does he now?
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere in New Zealand.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh, indeed. No, I was just about to say. I'll put us all onto this for now.
Yeah.
I watched. I finally. It took some doing to catch up with
Andor.
I ended up watching the first 3 episodes and I enjoyed them. The second 3 episodes, though, I just never found 3 hours spare.
Yeah.
And I could have watched one a night, but I like to sit down and, if it's available, watch it. And it just made me realise they really should be dropping these one a week. They should drop one a week. And I think people would get through it a lot easier. Anyway, I finally managed to watch the second 3 last week, and I found them hard going. If I'm honest with you, I did find them quite a slog. But I'm looking forward to the next 3, which dropped.
I would say episode 8 and 9 are the best so far.
Yeah.
Cool.
In as much that I can actually
on episode 4.
Yeah, I can actually remember what happened in them.
I haven't watched episode 3 yet.
Have you not? Wow.
I know.
That's the controversial one, isn't it?
I know, yes. I recalled from what Ed was saying last time, yes.
Yeah. If just quickly going back to the message that Gap put back up earlier on, it can always just not watch.
Oh, what did Yeah,
just don't watch then.
Why would you watch a show of 3 middle-aged men
talking,
and then complain that one of them is talking?
Maybe we'll just take a moment, just think about that. Then we won't be talking.
Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
He was the host of quite a few programs.
Noel's House Party. Yeah,
I love Noel's House Party.
Late breakfast show.
Telly Addicts. I love Telly Addicts.
I've got it. Telly Addicts. Yeah.
Deal or no deal.
Yeah, deal or no deal.
It doesn't matter if the 3 episodes connect, Phil. It doesn't. What's so wrong with episode 1, 2, 3, 1 year later, 4, 5, 6, 1 year later, 7, 8, 9. So there's nothing wrong with that. It says it on the episodes anyway.
Babylon 5.
The first episode starts with 1 year later, and that's from 2 years ago when we got series 1.
Babylon 5. TV show set over 5 years. You had to watch it over 5 years. You had no bloody choice. In fact, sometimes I had to wait 12 weeks in between one episode and another episode in the same blinking season because the Americans had to show it first. It's like, we had to wait for them to catch up with us and then we could keep watching ours. It's like, So, you know nothing, my friend, of my pain.
Gap, you're complaining that Ed talks continuously on and on. You didn't catch up earlier when I was talking continuously on and on. Yeah, if you'd have woke up earlier, you'd have been able to see that bit. You have a go at me when I keep talking, but I make you laugh. I have a go at you because you keep talking into a phone and you have a speech impediment, and that's how you're posting things that don't make any sense, and I laugh at you, not with you. No, I love you to bits, Joe, and you know it. Bless him. Swap Shop was a kids' Saturday morning live TV show.
That's a more informative response, thank you.
Like mini movies. They're not like mini movies at all, though. Movies don't tend to be this boring. Not as boring as episodes 4, 5, and 6 were, anyway. They could have been condensed down into one episode. Honestly.
Carefully paced.
Yeah. No, it's beyond that.
Yeah.
I think episodes 1, 2, and 3 were carefully paced. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 are just like, oh my God, when is this going to end? And then you realise it's still the first episode.
But it's so pretty. They got to have time for the pretty.
Bear in mind just how defensive of Andor I've been. I'm a huge lover of the Andor series, so 4, 5, and 6 must have been really boring. Ed only says 50% of what he's thinking. He's just one of those people who has a lot of thoughts. Definitely.
I'll tell you something now. I'd probably say about 15% of what I think. You wouldn't be able to broadcast the rest of it.
No, we've been there, and I've edited the video.
You really wouldn't. And you wouldn't be able to broadcast.
Yeah, I know, I said that.
You certainly wouldn't be able to broadcast what I think about people that comment in the comment section.
Ed's not sensitive. Trust me, Ed's not sensitive.
No. In fact, I'm that thick-skinned. They often come round. No, it's every 6 months they come round and they do skin transplants and use it on rhinos out on the Serengeti.
Put it this way, Ed's that thick-skinned, he keeps saying to me, is it in yet? He's not sensitive at all.
No, not at all. Oh dear.
Did you finish showing your stuff?
No.
You?
I don't know. Am I allowed any more airtime? Just ask Gap.
Gap? Is Ed allowed to talk anymore?
I'll tell you something. It's a good job I decided not to bother with that idea I had for a podcast. I was like,
Joe says be nice. Ed's old.
Either that, or tell you what, I could do the podcast in sign language. Maybe that'd work.
Perhaps a few minutes more.
60 minutes of white noise with Ed.
Ed's idea of sign language would be... It's all right. I've selected this as not for kids.
No, I've done.
You're done. Right, okay, that means it's up to me now, then, doesn't it? Jesus Christ! Oh, I'm already big. There we go. Yeah, I bought more cars.
No, Gareth's the youngest Wolverine.
I am actually, yes.
But thank you. I appreciate the. It probably just means I have the most hair left. I think is.
Yeah.
That's what's confusing him. You can only see the front, you can't see the back. So.
I bought cases to put my cars in from that wonderful app called Temu or Temu or whatever it is you want to call it.
That's not a car; it's a tank.
Oh God, I forgot that were a pullback. And I've managed to fill quite a lot of them. 2 of them have tipped over, so I need to get cases for them.
Could they not have done slightly more obvious hinges on the boxes for you?
I like these cases. I won't have you knock these cases. They're cheap.
They work, but they don't tessellate.
They'll be,
and they stack on top of each other.
The repurposed jewellery cases. That's what they are.
The what?
What jewellery
repurposed jewellery cases.
Yeah.
What jewellery would you put in there, do you reckon?
I don't know, beads and that.
Possibly.
They'd occupy the available space.
That's how I've got them all at the moment. I'm going to end up knocking these over, aren't I? I'll be like, yeah, they stack on top of each other, and they also fall off top of each other as well. So yeah, I have done a video actually of close-ups of all these, which I'll get round to editing and putting up at some point. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. In fact, those are the last 2 cases so far. Oh, look, the bottom 2 have fallen over again. I do put them also in these. And I've run out, and that's why some of them have fallen over. And I quite like these. which I'm sure Ed will say that they're repurposed ring boxes or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the I know which ones you mean. Yeah,
they're a bit like DC deflector cases, to be fair.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But yeah, they're there we are, and when you put the car in there, they don't tip over in the case. And it stops them rattling about as well when you're throwing them.
You could maybe do with little wedges or something, then you could sort of display them at an angle.
Yeah, could do that as well.
Maybe just super glue them in there.
I could do that as well. I'm not going to do, but I could.
or get some clear, translucent resin.
Just pour it. Yeah. Drop
them in.
This is another one that I ordered from Mattel. I quite liked it. I liked the shade of blue more on the website than how it's actually turned out.
Often the way with websites, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it doesn't even look like the blue that is pictured in above it.
Nice little model.
I can just imagine the scene. Gareth sat at home, yeah, and you can see inside his brain, yeah, and it's the monkey with the cymbals, yeah, going and like that, and then all of a sudden it just stops and it goes, I need to start collecting something else. That's a good idea.
And then I popped into Asda and I found this.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and I quite liked this. I thought this was very nice. So $6.98 I think this was, which is less than I can get it for at trade price. So I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll have it. I'd love to know how that's a thing, I really would.
Massive economies of scale, possibly.
We pops into TK Maxx, and I see that Jada Toys on the shelf, and these are the 1/24th scale that come with a little figure.
Okay. So these like bigger ones, these.
Phil, if you're watching still, Mazda. Is it an RX-3? I think it's an RX-3, isn't it? Or MX-3? RX-3. There we go. Thought so. And I quite liked this one. Thought it was a cool looking little model. It's got One Punch Man on the side of it. And the thing is, I quite like One Punch Man. So it was a foregone conclusion that I was going to get this, especially it's got opening doors, bonnet and everything, yeah. Which I do like that feature in die-cast cars. I do. Mm-hmm. I always did when I was a kid.
But it's nice that they're affordable.
Yeah. Well, you want to know how affordable they are? These sell for £30 to £35. Yeah?
Yeah.
It were a tenner.
Hey.
$9.99. I was like, that's coming home with me.
Oh,
so, even if I decide I don't want it anymore, I can go in the shop. But I kept it. And then I've just received 2 from Temu. One that you can actually build together, which looked quite interesting. It's a Camaro, and you can build it up in 2 different ways. One with lots of nuts and bolts showing, and with the engine sticking out of the hood, and one the normal way. And I thought I might have a bit of fun with that one. And then this one, in all honesty, I just wanted to see if it was as bad as I expected it to be. Because it's Temu, it's cheap and nasty. And when it's turned up, I've actually been quite impressed with it.
It's right.
Dodge Charger.
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a bad looking model.
Mm.
And they were going on about how it lights up and it makes engine noises and this, that, and the other. And it's a pullback. I do like a pullback car. The pullback works quite nicely. And
I was half expecting you to say when you press the button, it starts making dinosaur noises.
I would have loved that. But it also, like I said, it does light up as well. But I don't like the lights at the front. Why has it got red lights?
And for those of our viewers that suffer with epilepsy, if you just stay calm and while you're writhing about on the floor.
Now, it's got white lights on the outer, but then the inner ones are red, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed. I thought it was going to be a load of crap, and it's not.
It even reminds me slightly, actually, because when you said red lights, I was thinking about that really crappy Knight Rider series that came after the original Knight Rider series. They had a bit of a muscle car in it, didn't it?
Team Knight Rider, were it?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. There was one after that, even. I think.
Knight Rider 2000.
No, not the film. No, there was a other series, I think, of it, but yeah.
Team Knight Rider.
There was that, but I think there was another one. Because they had like a transforming something in it at one point. It was like a prototype or something.
No, that was the remake. That was the updated where it's Michael Knight's son that was with it. And it was car transformed into like this from a car to this like roboty thing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't pre-order this, and I did mean to, and I forgot. Anyway, it turned up. I ended up, they had stock. Star Wars Vintage Collection, so it's not all die-cast. Heir to the Empire, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn. Of course I was going to get it. And it comes with very nice card art on the cards.
That's cool.
Which means that I had to buy 2. Otherwise, I'd never be able to see the wonderful card art, would I? So we've got a Captain Gillard Palayan there. He's second in command. We've got JoshyyBoyyToys, the dark clone Jedi, who was guarding the Emperor's mountain storehouse. And, of course, Grand Admiral Thrawn himself, which I do like that card art. Very nice. It's not Rebels Thrawn. It's not Ahsoka Thrawn. It is Expanded Universe Thrawn, and I like that.
Is the creature around his neck the thing that nullifies Jedi Force powers?
That's correct, yes. That's a Neil Salamiri.
There you go.
It's Salamiri. Oh, and there's one other thing. I did forget about this, actually, until I just glanced down. Nintendo Switch game.
Oh.
I collect the Ace Attorney games, and I didn't have this one, so... Yeah, it popped up on Amazon at... I think it was 20 or 30% off or something like that. So I was like, okay, fair enough.
Big box for an SD card.
It is. It certainly is indeed, yes. Where are we at? Because I think I've fallen well behind with this chat. Martin knew that Diecast was coming. Of course I go in TK Maxx. Why wouldn't I go in TK Maxx? JT loves the Jurassic Park 2 vehicles. They're nice, aren't they? The paint job on them is really nice. Mark, hello! It's been a while. How are you? How are you?
Wow.
Phil's woken up, yeah. He certainly has. Nice Mustang. Hellos to Mark. Hellos. I got almost all the Jada Batmobile. Is it Jada or Jada?
No,
I think I've asked this question before. I say Jada.
Jada.
Jada Batmobile.
Jabba.
Hello, everyone. What have I missed? You've missed it all. Go back at the beginning.
1 hour and 40 minutes. That's what you've missed.
One Punch Man. Awake, Phil. It's been blaming me. You know, I do blame you. It's not your fault at all, Dave. This is all me. I don't know if anyone saw the chat I had with Stu from Universal Toy Collector, but it was actually more that chat because I'd already picked up a couple of cars. And while talking to him about toys from childhood, and my toys at childhood were diecast cars. Thomas the Tank Engine and diecast cars. I didn't play with figures. I didn't add 1, maybe 2 Transformers. I had 1, maybe 2 Masters of the Universe figures. I had Manta Force, which I loved to bits. And everything else was diecast cars. So that chat and reminding me of it all, it just made me, you know what, I want more cars. Fast and Furious fan. I don't mind Fast and Furious, to be honest with you. I've seen worse films. Usually produced by Kathleen Kennedy. Cheap and nasty. No, cheap and nasty.
not even the same place on the keyboard. That's weird.
Nowhere near, are they? I look down then. Yes, very cheap. Is that the Hellcat? I don't know. I'm assuming you're referring to this because I think your comment came up when I was looking at this. I don't know if it's the Hellcat or not. It could well be. But it's not. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see it, but the reference to Dream on the back there. Unless it's just meaning Dream Machine. I don't know. And it makes sex noises. How is the cosmic car? There isn't one. Demon Charger. It's the red eyes. Yes. I was tempted to get Jada 124 scale Robotech. I didn't know there was a Robotech one. I do like a Toyota Supra. I do like a Supra. And it came with Rick Hunter, did it? Oh, stop it. Dave's trying to get me to buy a Godzilla one. I'm probably going to buy it. We need a car for Cosmic Toy Mac. No, he has a little space jet sled. Yeah. It's up here. It's up here. It hasn't made it onto any design board yet, but it's up here. It has red lights because it can translate the Forbidden Sith language. Seeing this, it looks good. What? What did you see? What did you see?
He saw something.
Yeah, I don't know what he's seen.
Jurassic Park one? Don't know.
Thrawn, yes. Look at that. Gap's been positive about something. Love the card art. Oh, yes. Martin did see the Thrawn stuff when it arrived the other day. Yes. Unfortunately, it broken. What's broken?
Something.
Okay. Hello, Stone Cold. How are you, sir? Everyone's saying hello. Is it Thomas the Tank next week? You know what? Doncaster Toy Fair. No, seriously, I've been looking for a while. I actually saw someone buy some at a toy fair and I was gutted. I want on card or in very, very good condition loose, which you won't find in very good condition loose, the original Thomas the Tank engines with the sticker faces.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Were they Ertl?
They were by Ertl, but the ones I had as a kid, they had a flat face with a printed sticker and not the 3D moulded plastic ones. And if I could get them in good condition, then I probably would. So it's probably best that I don't find them because I don't want to start collecting Thomas the Tank Engine.
You'd think with modern toy technology these days, they'd make Thomas the Tank Engine toys with a little LED screen for the face.
Don't give them ideas, Ed.
You could animate it. You could animate it.
Why are you giving them these ideas?
I've been doing that a lot recently. Giving toys.
Hello. Apologies, I've been building a wall. Oh, how's that coming along?
Yeah,
you were giving updates, and I was paying attention to them, believe it or not. But I haven't seen anything for a while. My recovery, it's getting there. It's slow and steady, but it's sure. And
it's a long road.
I can feel it. I can feel the benefits of it. I'm off the sticks now. Yes, which I'm thrilled at. I'm thrilled at. They want me to hand them back as soon as I'm off them properly, and I'm like, no, not until I know I don't need them anymore. And you've fallen down the Toxic Crusaders rabbit hole. You've picked the worst time for that because everyone seems to be falling down it, and the prices are just going.
That's something that I could have harkened back to early on where we were discussing demand and supply, because there does seem to be a bit of a wave effect with things that are in vogue even for old stuff, and that does have an impact as well, doesn't it? So
yeah, definitely. I mean, over the last year, I would say Madballs have just gone absolutely mental, stupidly mental.
Are these toys for the new film that's supposed to be coming out?
New film?
The Toxic Crusader thing.
Oh, right. I think he probably means the original ones, the vintage ones.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, going back to talking about, when we're talking about toy sizes and stuff like that, I suppose that would be the fortunate thing, won't it, for the Toxic Crusader film? Toys will be 1-to-1 scale.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing it. This new one. But when they announced it, I was like, what are you thinking? You cannot make a trauma film for today's sensibilities. and then they made it, and then no studio would release it. And I was like, have they made it properly? And suddenly I was interested, and I am interested because nobody wanted to release it, and that to me says that it's got the kind of lack of sensibilities that it requires. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one actually.
So I know nothing about Toxic Avenger,
It's
so
massively inappropriate.
Well, right, I figured that, but I mean, like with the new film, I mean, I know they've cast Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger, but is it actually going to be him in the film as a Toxic, or is he just doing the voice for it?
He plays before he gets the acid or whatever thrown on him to turn him into Toxic. Right. He's playing that guy, so it's a midget guy, and then after the transformation happens, it's a woman actually playing the part, and he's just doing the voice.
Ah.
So, but it is a woman in a big hulking-looking costume.
Right. I get it now.
They're running mad because they don't get used anywhere near enough. It's finally got a film date. Well, it's got a release date, yes. It is finally getting released. I think it's because enough interest was shown.
Is this the one we've just been talking about?
Toxic Crusader, yeah.
Oh, so it has actually been made, it's just that it's not being released?
That's right, yeah. It's been made now for, I think it's about 2 years.
Oh, right, okay.
And nobody would release it. And I was just like, stick it on Netflix, stick it on Amazon Prime, whatever. Or even just release it so if people want it, they have to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, imagine that. If someone wants a product, they'll pay for it. Insane. And I bet you'd find that more people would buy that than anything else just because people are saying they shouldn't be watching stuff like that. Nearly caught up. They made 3. What? They made originally they did. Oh God, really? Oh, Mark. Jeez. I don't know what to say. I told you, Kickstarter. GoFundMe. Yeah, get a GoFundMe going. People would help out. Even if it only gets you a little bit back towards that, people would help.
What's that?
The back wall of this shop has collapsed.
Right.
Insurance aren't paying out, and there's reasons why it's collapsed, and it's a big, long story. And obviously, he's having to get into debt to fix it. And I just said, look, if you put a GoFundMe out there, so there will be people that'll chip in a little bit, even if it don't get you the whole lot back. If it only gets you $1,000 back, it's something.
They could donate bricks.
They could donate bricks.
Yeah, donate the bricks.
Yeah,
they only glaze you, so that's not going to work, is it?
Yeah, so you get a brick. Just write the address on it in permanent marker. Stick a few stamps on it.
Yeah. And it finally gets the windows put in, as someone throws a brick through it. There you go, mate.
Yeah. So don't forget, send your bricks to Mark. PO box, whatever. Please make sure they all match. We don't want a Harlequin wall. No Yorkshire stone.
But seriously, get a GoFundMe up there.
Job's done. No, don't bother. Send him brick.
Hey, I know someone who's doing. Well, we all know someone who's doing a GoFundMe to make another series of YouTube videos at the moment. Yeah. I think this is a lot more worthwhile.
And then you could do like a raffle then, and entry to the raffle is like bags of cement. It's sorted. There's always a solution. Always a solution.
Will Lego bricks do? It'd be cheaper to post.
That is a good idea. Do an external breeze block, and then inside at shop do it with
brick
Lego
donation is a brilliant idea. You can all have your names on the new wall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a break-in. What? God, you are having a bad time. Although, is it classed as a break-in if they just have to step over the first row of bricks? Sorry.
Is that a break-in?
Andy could donate himself. What? You're trying to say that Andy's a brick?
Apparently, I'm just another brick in the wall.
Oh, my goodness me. No Yorkshire stone. I'm now offended. 3D print the bricks. Plastic brick, yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Stickle bricks. That won't keep the rain out, will it? Right, I think we've probably exhausted the conversation, and we're at 2 hours.
I'm exhausted.
That flew by, did that?
It did.
Yeah, does anyone... I don't have anything coming up at the moment. Andy, have you got anything coming up that people would like to see?
That people would like to see? Well...
Do you have anything coming up?
I've got the second half of my incredibly long DVD/Blu-ray collection examination. That's on tomorrow night.
That's a Blu-ray. That's a DVD. And next week...
Ta-da! Yeah, and it features exactly the same intro as the last video because I'm a lazy sod, so if you want to join me about 10 minutes in, that's absolutely fine. You won't get anything if you caught the first one.
You know what? I was more disappointed at the lack of outro, let alone intro.
Shush you.
It's like, I
inadvertently filmed 2 hours worth of looking at my DVD.
got a whiplash from the end of your video.
I had to cut it in half. I was in a bit of a fugue state by the time I actually got around to putting it up, so, you know.
Are you going to discuss on your Blu-ray DVD thingy about DVD rot?
No, I'm not, no.
Right.
Because none of my DVDs are rotted, so there you go. That I know of.
Yeah.
But interestingly, when one small point to note was that, ironically, my Godzilla Blu-ray was not as blue as it used to be. It was somehow discoloured. And the chap said it would still play, but they couldn't sell it in CEX because it was discoloured. So apparently Blu-rays get discoloured, so there you go.
Yeah, it's not a Kickstarter, it's a brick starter. I've told you. Send bricks.
A bricklayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real brick starter for Mark. I think that's his solution, a brick starter. Send him bricks. Or he could get a local construction company, someone like Travis Perkins or something, to sponsor the wall in the shop. Travis Perkins Memorial Wall at Brooks Collectibles.
And they could have Pink Floyd playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want one of those BBC shows to come in and fix it for you.
Okay, whoa, easy. We want to be careful who we're asking to fix it for him. Yeah,
I see where you went there.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
They're imperial, not metric.
Yeah. Yeah, Minecraft, yeah. Minecraft bricks.
Goodness me. Well...
So
have your tell, Sandy, then? Just that? Just your DVD?
Yeah, there'll be something Star Trek-y on Monday, but I haven't filmed it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Ed? Have you got anything coming up? Are you going to just save it as a surprise again like you did last time?
No, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think I've got... There may be 3 videos coming.
That's like 9 years worth of output for.
It's like he's better than the buses, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's to chase after him right now.
If all goes well tomorrow and Friday, one will be dropping on. There'll be a premiere on Saturday evening.
Excellent. So remember, everyone, get over to subscribe to Ed's if you haven't already at Vaults of Atkin on YouTube.
But unfortunately, I will be talking on it, so
maybe Gap should stick.
Yeah, maybe Gap may not want to watch it because there will be. It could always mute it. It can mute it. There'll be nice pictures for him to look at. Yeah, so it could always mute it.
It's going to be reflector, and reflector, isn't it?
Pass.
Yes, big pass.
And Dave's already subbed. Yeah, but I'm talking about his channel.
Yeah, Dave is subbed. Yeah. So no, yeah, I've got there'll be 3 coming but there will be more.
Ooh, I want to try something.
There will be more. But one will be going up. There'll be a premiere on Saturday. So look out for that one. I won't tell you what it is. I'll keep it as a surprise. But there's one coming up on Saturday evening.
Oh. Well, let me put my own custom stickers in. And Ben's been subbed for a while.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what Mark says as well.
Yeah.
Right then, what do I have coming out? It'll be the usual thing next week. Or maybe it won't be usual because we've got Doncaster Toy Fair, haven't we? Oh, Doncaster Toy Fair on Sunday, folks.
Sunday.
Yeah. Are you coming?
Probably.
No. I know you're not coming, Ed.
No, I'm giving it a miss this time. I'll tell you something. If you know that in that episode of Big Bang Theory, you know where Sheldon has that thing, that motorized thing with the screen on and that. Yeah, get me one of them. I'm there at everyone.
Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shrink you down to about a quarter of your normal height.
Yeah.
Strap you to my back, and then I'm going to sort of run around in a Luke Skywalker style. And you can just...
I'm not. I don't like people. Why would I go somewhere where there's people? I don't like people.
You just force choke them, it'll be fine.
It's just like it takes a lot of energy to do this. Afterwards I'm just like, you're making me socialise. I don't do socialising. I like to be here at home on my own, shouting at things, random things like dandelions, or there's a bastard magpie that keeps coming in my garden as well. I keep having to salute him as well. It's like, if you're going to come in my garden, you miss this. Don't come on your own. Either that or go out in the street, grab some random stranger and say, look, there's a magpie in my garden.
Yeah, I do that whenever I see a magpie. Morning. Afternoon, whatever.
No, I'm actually quite a nice person, Gap. I just like to, pretend I'm not. Or is it the other way around? No, I like to pretend I'm a nice person. That's it, yeah.
Phil says that you should do a 24-hour Spectrum play.
Oh, good God, no. That'd be... I
mean, 24 hours, wouldn't it be like 16 hours loading and then 8 hours?
No, because you've got the wonder of the smart card. Don't get me wrong, Phil. I love my Spectrum. I do, but no, I couldn't do 24-hour. No, it's just like, because it'd be a nightmare. Yes, I'd shout at. I'd not as much now because I've stopped watching the news. But when I did used to watch the news,
on the adverts.
Yeah, I just shout at adverts now, and I'm shouting at adverts when I'm watching your videos now, Gareth. I tried watching one. Well, no, it was today. I was washing up today, in between shouting at the magpie, and then shouting at your video because it got like a minute in, and there were adverts. And I'm like,
apparently you look like Ed Edmondson.
It's what? Sorry.
Apparently you look like Mr. Edmondson.
I'll take that. I'll not call him. And funnily enough, he's called Eddie as well.
He is. That's what he says.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't share the same surname.
No.
I've seen now as well. You can't skip the ads on telly anymore like you used to be able to. They've seemed to have tweaked that.
Not on the streaming ones, no. Amazon does. You can't skip them on Amazon, no.
Oh, no. But I'm thinking of the YouTube ones, actually, specifically. There used to be a way you could do it, but you can't anymore.
Yeah. I think, I could be wrong, but I think you can download like an app or something, or like, an extension plugin or something. So you can watch stuff on YouTube and get it ad-free.
You can also get subscribed to... You can pay for YouTube and then think you get...
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Balls emoji.
Apparently.
Is it?
Bring back 80s TV ads. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Did you?
Right, I'm done. I'm knackered and I'm ready for bed. I was talking you being both bald. Okay.
No, I choose to shave my head. I'm not really bald. I just shave it to be in solidarity with Gareth. It just,
Yeah, okay. Okay. And on that bombshell, we're going to go out with a bit of fun. I know we've seen it once, but we're going to see it again. Good night, everyone. Much love.